And you did an amazing job of capturing the inside of Bella's head and the emotions, and yet still kept it moving and kept the action moving.
Thank you.
Was that difficult to do?
That's the big challenge of all of these books, because all of the books are written from Bella's point of view. They're very internal, they're very intimate. So the challenge always is to externalize that. So that's maybe I've just gotten better at it as I go along, but I hope, but it's always been the challenge.
I mean, I guess the fans of the books are like, oh, Bella wouldn't get on a motorcycle. That wasn't in the book. I mean, but you can't do a movie based on a book that's so interior without getting rid of some of that. You've got to have some action.
Well, what's also what I found is in a novel, in a book, you really can have a character be reactive. It works beautifully. In a movie, to have your lead be reactive, it doesn't work as well. And so for me, it was about taking a lot of situations in which she was reactive and making her active. It's truer to the character who's been developed in the movies that she would be active, and it's just also more appropriate for cinematic story.
How do you feel about the finished product? Are you proud?
I am pretty proud, I have to say. I'm so thrilled that people are responding as you have.
It's the most romantic film I've seen in years.
Oh, good.
It really is. And I'm not 16.
Excellent. That's excellent.
Yeah. Now, what are you going to do? Now, you've got a big challenge ahead of you with the 2 books. In a way that makes it easier for you because you don't have to leave out as much. You'll be able to put in more scenes. But there are some scenes, I know that Rob has said, oh, we should go for it. We should, make it X-rated and all this stuff. And Kristen's like, no, I think it's probably going to be PG. What do you feel?
I feel that that one does not need buckets of blood and graphic violence or graphic sex in order to convey a really hot sex scene or a really terrifying horror moment. In fact, I think it's almost sexier and more terrifying to suggest it rather than sort of graphically see it and to have, pints of blood spewing out all over the place. After having worked on Dexter, which is can be very horrifying at times. Pint for pint of blood, CSI is actually bloodier than Dexter is, and yet Dexter is far more disturbing. And I think that's because of what it suggests, as opposed to what you actually, whether you see the hacking away of the limbs or whatever.
Wow.
And so I learned that on Dexter.
Now, you and Stephenie work so well together. What do you think it is about your relationship that's making this such a successful, between an author and a screenwriter to get along that well? It's very unusual.
It's such a blessing. I feel so, thank God, because you're right, it could go the other way. What it really comes down to is we both have tremendous respect for each other's process. And that we both have the same objective, which is to see the book on the screen. I'm not using the book as a jumping off place to tell the CIA espionage story. I'm adapting the book, so I have respect for my source material and for the author. And she is so collaborative and flexible. She really understands that the movie is not the book. And she allows that, she's flexible, she's not precious about her work. She's been just so respectful and supportive and helpful